Hi there, I'm Luke. Welcome back to PhotoBite, and today we're checking out the Ellie by Three-Legged Thing. Let's get into it. So the Ellie by Three-Legged Thing is a modular L bracket, and the idea is that it helps you adjust and align this L bracket to your camera. If we just take it off, you see that you got these pins at the bottom here that you can adjust inwards and outwards depending how the camera sits. Currently we just got a Fuji X-T2 on here, so it's quite a small form factor, but if you had, say, a D850, this would obviously be further out. Now the other perk of this is with an L bracket, you can then do this movement, and it saves you having to readjust the ball in order to try and reset your framing. And one of the extras that we really like about it is if you're kind of getting into video and you have a mic on top, you've got this little gap here. Now this gap, you can have it this side, this side, this side, or this side, because you can adjust it any way you like. And it just gives you easy access into your cables just in the side here. So you can get in your 35mm jack, which links up to your microphone. You can easily get it in there without this being in the way. Now you can configure this to do other things as well, and in the box you'd also have this tool. So what you would do is you would just simply take this off. There are two small screws you just got to undo. This releases the pins that are sitting on the bottom, and then we can just pull that out. We can flip that round. So you have 9 different configurations. So if you're using a telephoto, you may find a different way of using this, and that enables you to get a bit more support with the larger lens on your tripod head. So currently you've got to set it up like this. So what we can do, if I just adjust this like I was supposed to, so we'll unscrew this, like so. You can get creative with these as well. That's the very, very handy thing about them. And then we will just simply attach it on like so. So now what we can do is line this up just like so. Let's move that back a bit. Done. Now we'll just adjust onto the ball head here. So we'll get those aligned. And now you have a bit more support in how you want to use it. So we'll just tighten that up like so. So now we have a bit more support. It also enables us to get those panoramics that we're after, and we can just tighten it up like so. You still got control over the ball head, so you can get some slightly different angles with the L bracket as well, and then you can just tighten it back up when you're done. So you have different ways of using it. You can be very, very creative, and then you can just simply adjust how you want to use it, and you can also take it off. Now the way that we see most users using this will primarily be in a standard L bracket shape, but if you have a telephoto, you're going to want to have a bit more control over the weight distribution, and this will be sitting and holding your lens, so you can adjust that accordingly. So if we just take this off, put my camera down, and this is the L bracket here. So what you can also do as well is if you don't want the side plate, you can take it off completely. We can just undo it like so. And that just pops off, and you can just go with the bracket like so. Just make sure you don't lose the smaller screws. We have done that before, so just make sure you do screw those back in when you're done, and then you can just rotate and you can push it all back together. So a very easy piece of gear to use, very simple, easy to set up. And to be honest, for the kind of money you're looking at, £65 is something that you have a bit more control over when you're taking pictures, and it definitely secures your camera in place as well. And again, just literally sits on the rails and just expands and adjusts like so. So overall in our testing, we're very happy with the Ellie. It's very easy to use, and the fact that you can adjust and customize, as it were, the way that you want to use the bracket is very, very helpful in a number of different situations. If you're doing landscape, you can have your camera here, you can then unscrew it, and then you can adjust it, and it just saves you having to get hold of the ball head and then remove it, and it just gives you a lot more control in that sense. But then when you have a much larger telephoto lens, you can then take this out and adjust it, so you have a bit more control over the weight distribution, and it makes it a bit easier to handle the much larger lens, because having a large lens on a ball head, the minute you loosen it up, the weight of the actual lens itself can slip, but having this in place, it gives you a bit more control. Also, the use of the side exit here, having this being able to be here, 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 or here, gives you much more control, especially depending on what camera you have. We also found that in our testing, it never got in the way. It was very easy to get access to many doors. We tried it on an A7S II, tried it on a Nikon DSLR, so we tried it with a D7100, and we also tried it with the Fuji X-T2. And with those cameras, we didn't see any issue trying to get access to the side panels. If, however, you are running with a dual grip, you won't be able to use this one as this won't sit high enough. You could get away with it, but this will be on the very edge of the middle here, and you still have quite a bit of camera on top. You can opt for the QR11s, LBCs, and what they do is they're a bit taller on both ends, and it gives you a bit more support for your dual grip camera. One of the issues that we also saw was access to the battery on the bottom of the camera. You will need to take this off, but it is only one screw, so it's not the end of the world. It's just one of the smaller things that we saw. Would be nice for there to be a bigger gap, but at the same time we understand that build quality of the Ellie is very, very important, as it's holding your camera in place, and you want to have grip on the top here so that it doesn't swivel and it stays where it is. But overall, we're very happy with the Ellie. It's very easy to use. We haven't had many complaints from it. It's been such a reliable piece of kit to have. We mainly see it being used by landscape photographers and maybe some videographers as well. But if you're primarily a landscape photographer and you want to have something that adjusts to your camera, do have a look at the Ellie by 3-Legged Thing. It comes in this copper and also a slate grey, so you have a bit of choice there as well. But overall, we're very happy, and for the price of £65, you really can't go wrong. So that's our review of the Ellie by 3-Legged Thing. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, my name's Luke, this is PhotoBite, and we'll see you next time.